Hey, how you doing, everybody? This is JJ with Deluxe Vehicle Detailing and Paint Correction in now not raining beautiful Largo, Florida. I am finishing up this part of my series on wheel sealing and tire coating using OptiSeal for the wheel sealant and also Gyeon tire. This is the quartz technology. Optimum Polymer Technologies makes the OptiSeal. Both of them are basically just spray and wipe on, and you can then knock it down a little bit with a microfiber. But they're both pretty simple to use. The results are outstanding. On the wheel, it'll help your wheel keep cleaner. It'll be hydrophobic. Brake dust won't stick to it so much. Your tires will have a nice black matte finish with the Gyeon. I'm also going to show you another product that's a black acrylic tint, and that will give you shiny for about a good solid 6 months, 8 months. If you're gentle with your wheels on tires, you could get as much as a year of the shininess out of it. So really amazing products. This is kind of step one. The car's all been done. Everything's virgin here, very clean. I use just a standard dollar store sponge for this application. You can see I've actually done the other 3 wheels and tires. So I'm about to take you around and I'll show you the knockdown process. But I like to cut mine with scissors and give myself a small, thin area to get next to the rim and the tire, and then I also have a wider section here to get across the actual sidewall of the tire. So that's an important point. So I'm just going to show you this quick process here. I'm not going to blab on. So the product itself is a little bit thick. I don't know how well this will show up. I'm going to use this nice sidewall, but you can see, I mean, it runs, but it is not quite watery. It is a little thicker than that. So I just kind of use my fingertip. Be sure and wear gloves. I'm wearing safety glasses as well, just to be safe side. But so I've got this on the outside of this sponge, and when I use products like this, I'm going to pull this little tray back a bit. When I use products like this, I try and hit a lot of the tire on my first application as I've put the product on, just to kind of get things spread out some. I'm not trying to get, super close to the rim or the wheel. I'm not trying to get every little nook and cranny. These are Falcon ZX tires. Every tire has its own little characteristics. Every tire has, just certain nooks and crannies. These happen to have these, I'll call them ribs on the sidewall. So while I've got a lot of product on here, I'm going to just go across in this direction. You saw that I went circular the first time around. Now, I don't know how well it'll show up on camera right here, but like where I went around here, where all this little tiny lettering is about the warnings and all that, now I can go in and push down on this sponge and kind of work it back and forth, getting all of your various words, printing. It's all marketing. I mean, could they make tires like back in the day that they were just smooth sidewalls? Sure, but they've got ZX here. It's a ZE 950 AS. It's the outside. It's a Falcon tire. By the way, these are cheap. I got them at Pep Boys, and I've put, I don't know, probably about 40,000 miles on them, and they still got a lot of tread left, so I'm liking these tires. Anyway, here's basically all you need to do, right? You want to coat everything. You want to be sure and not miss the area real tight in. You can kind of just barely put a little pressure on this trigger. This trigger comes with the product. It's spring loaded. I've got this nice and moist. I'll actually squeeze it so it kind of gets in, so we don't want it to leak onto the rim. And I'll start right here, and all I am hitting is the very side edge of the rim, which is fine, right? So again, you can kind of put some pressure. You can reach in underneath that lip very easily using, if you cut it yourself, this very fine point, okay? And I will go back and forth over this twice just to make sure I got everything. Nothing worse than doing a tire detail and seeing kind of a dull or brownish spot. Okay, so that's good right there, right? I'm going to take just a wee bit more product, work it in a little bit, and just give one more nice solid wipe down. Any of the high spots while I was getting certain little parts of the tire. I try and, for my last step, I try and go with continuous pressure, and that smooths everything out. Now I will say, right on the bottle, it says that if you use a hairdryer, you can speed up the curing process on this. I actually don't even own a hairdryer. I forgot that I needed one of those in my detail arsenal. Let me wipe this stuff off my gloves here as I pick up the OptiSeal bottle. But yeah, if you heat it up with a hairdryer, you can essentially cure the product. It is quartz, so I'd be very careful when handling it. I personally like to use safety glasses, anything that I'm really spraying that much of, brake cleaners, things like that, wheel cleaners. I will also wear a mask, which I was wearing earlier when I was doing the cleaning part. Okay, so here we've got, I took a real cheap microfiber towel in my sea towel collection, and I cut sections. There's no real reason to have a full microfiber. You could use different types of applicators. You could use foam. I just fold this over a bit, give myself a nice surface area. The OptiSeal, very watery, very clear, as you can see. And I've got the wind to my back. I say that, the wind shifted. So this product, you won't really see it go on, right? I'm going to do all of the inner parts of these spokes on the wheel and apply the sealant. Now, again, I can't really see where the product starts and where it ends. I will probably go with a little bit on the air of caution of having a little extra. I can wipe it down as I go. And you just want to hit, obviously, all of the metal, which we're really not on metal. It's coated. We're essentially on plastic. So, a little bit more. We got all the insides. I'm going to also get these inner spoke parts. Actually, I'm going to hit a little on both sides of this. I have seen OptiSeal used for a lot of different applications. I'm a big fan of Optimum polymer technologies, and they make a lot of great products. Ivan, if you've ever watched him, he's absolutely amazing. He's just an absolute guru of detailing and knowledge. Highly recommend that you check out some of their stuff. So, we've got about everything covered. I'm going to go back over just quickly over some of the surface flat areas here. Make sure that I hit everything. I'm not really worried about getting in, too deep into the lug nuts, things like that, right? So I think I've got everything covered, except for I've got this small lip here that goes around, and it's between the tire that we just worked on the actual tire itself. But what I want to do is I want to make sure I get everything. So what I'll do is I'll put my finger right on the tire, and I will work this right along this edge, right? Probably, maybe I didn't do a fantastic cleaning job, or maybe the Gyeon allowed some of that to come off. But I want to make sure that I get every little nuance of this wheel right on the outside edge. Here I'm working kind of more on the inner side of this outer part of the rim. But I think I've got everything all covered. It's both products, very easy to use. You saw me do the whole thing here. I'm hoping to get 4, maybe 6 months out of the Gyeon. I know that it's a long-lasting material, and the OptiSeal, I know that things are not going to stick to the wheels as much. It's just going to be much easier to clean in the future. So I thank you very much. I will say one more thing, and that is also recommended by the Gyeon Q2 there, the quartz tire. Once you put this on, it should give you a matte finish. Now this looks still kind of shiny because it's still kind of wet, but they say to just lightly go over with a microfiber towel and just knock down all your high spots. I'm going to go along that inner edge there. And again, for my last touching, I like to have it continuous. That way you're not going to have a blotchy, streaky kind of surface. Okay, very little came off of it. So I thank you very much for being with me. I've got a few more steps to go and a few other things to show you on the BMW in this series. However, rain chased me today, and I've got a few clients for my personal training business that I've got to get to, so I've got to get in the shower. Kind of put me back today. But please subscribe, like, share this, and I thank you very much for your time on my channel. Be sure and comment. Let's interact. That's what this is all about. It's really all about you, okay? Thanks, and we'll see you again.